As you can make out from my book, there are a lot of page markers, which obviously means that I'm very excited about the book. And there are a lot of passages which are marked out, which deserve to be read. Except for a shortage of time, I'll have to decide which one of these passages I should read. And you will also, I guarantee, also be excited about the book once you start reading it. So please buy a copy. The book is like all good books, like all good novels, like all great literature. Multi-levels, multi-layered. And there's that central theme, some kind of a leitmotif that flows through all the pages of the book. And the central theme is casteism. And it is not casteism in some backwater of India with illiterate, uneducated people who probably don't know better, but casteism among people like us, people who are relatively more privileged, people who are relatively better educated. And the book shows, unfortunately, the truth is often unfortunate, that casteism is alive and well. And it is alive and well and kicking in the civil services, which Raghav and me, a number of us belong to. In the Indian Foreign Service, in the Administrative Service, in the Indian Police Service. And the civil services basically are supposed to be social reformers in some way. They have to reform society, they have to be role models. And here we have role models trying to reform society, but they're still stuck in their biases and their caste identities. So the protagonist of the book is Ms. Deepika Thakur. Now, Thakur is not her real name. It is what we have in India, this thing called caste name. You can identify a person's caste by asking his name. What is your good name? And when they tell you a good name, you know what his good or bad caste is. Now, her name is Deepika Thakur, but that was not her caste name, because her actual caste name was Chamar. She is Deepika Chamar. Thakur is, what are Thakur's? Kshatriyas from North India? Normally, okay. Chamar is a very low caste, Dalit, an untouchable, whatever you may call it, a scheduled caste. It goes by a number of names, how we name the lower castes. So her parents thought she won't get through life or get ahead with life if she has a name like Chamar. Chamars are basically deal with chamra, that is skin, and so they're the cobblers, they are the people who make your shoes. And so the parents are ashamed of the name, so they dropped the name. Now, being ashamed of one's name, that is also something a lot of lower caste Indians are, and which is very unfortunate, because the names go as per profession. In the West, you still have millers, you have smiths who are blacksmiths, you have, in fact, here it is called Chamar. In the West, you'll probably be calling him a shoemaker. And we had a very famous shoemaker who was a Formula One driver. I'm sure he was proud of his name. But name is something that is always an issue in India. And Raghav Chandra brings this across very well in his book. And he also gives a solution of how we can get rid of the caste system. Just, I'll read out the passage. He says, this is Raghav talking actually, the author is talking through another character. Perhaps it would be a good idea if all Indians had inscrutable surnames without the clunky, intimidating suffixes of a Sharma or a Pandey or a Chaube or a Sisodia or a Chauhan or a Tomar or a Agarwal, Gupta, Mittal, Srivastava, Sinha, Saxena. We'll probably add Malik to that also. And that would be the beginning of the end of social discrimination. Now, Raghav is somebody who doesn't just preach, he practices what he preaches. He's dropped his caste name. He's a Chandra. And I really don't know what caste is, even though we've been old friends and known him for decades now, I never bothered to ask him what his caste is. And so he's a Chandra, so maybe all of us should be either a Chandra or a Kumar or a Kumari. I think that's an excellent idea of yours to get rid of the caste system. Now, the casteism, a lot of the book is about the IS Academy in the Himalayas in Missouri. And that, unfortunately, is still replete with a lot of casteism, it's still mired in casteism. And Deepika Thakur, nee Chamar, she had to encounter that. So this is what actually happens when we have to deal with caste discrimination. And this is happening in the elite civil services, the academy in Missouri. So she's telling somebody, yet he is some higher caste, probably the Brahman that Raghav was talking about, yet he never sits next to me in the dining room. It becomes embarrassing, especially when others also notice what's happening. You read the book?
Rajesh is also a higher caste.
Okay. Because you're not supposed to eat with somebody, and that's the taboo, eating somebody from a lower caste. So twice he got up on some pretext and walked off with his plate without a word of apology. He then looked towards me to gauge how I feel. He doesn't drink from the same bottle that I had a sip from, even if I haven't brought it to my lips. So Deepika Thakur had to deal with all that. And associated with casteism is another pretty awful aspect of our society, which comes out brilliantly in the book, and that is about color complex, our obsession for fair skin. And this is something very racial, it is very rude, it's very primitive, it's very tribal, it's racial. And this kicks in particularly during the time of marriages. Now, you heard about all the matrimonial ads that you come across in the papers. So that is also here described very well in the book. That is Deepika, she recalled that once, inadvertently, she had picked up the Times of India and had glanced cursorily through the matrimonial advertisements, and she was appalled to see that almost all the solicitations for brides and grooms were ludicrously primitive. The page said, wanted grooms, that particular column, wanted grooms, is classified into for Brahmins, for Rajputs, for Agarwals, and so on. And she also recalled one prominent post, non-Brahmins need not apply. Another page for the brides, wanted brides, and a post that said, please apply only if girl is extremely fair complexioned. It alarmed her, Deepika, that girls were being commonly classified as either wheatish, very fair, or even chalk white. If this alone wasn't demeaning for girls, then the horror tales she heard about dowry. The darker the complexion, the higher the expected dowry. And that goaded her to make herself financially independent. Here in this country, I've come across a lot of these creams and ointments to make you fair and lovely. They're called Fair and Lovely. And they are also being marketed and endorsed by some of our Bollywood stars. This is terrible. It's absolutely racial. And actually, the people who manufacture these creams and promote these creams, they should be booked for racialism. Then, while on the subject of marriages, I came across a statistic. Guess what percentage of marriages in India are intercaste? Just take a guess.
Let's say 10%.
Very close, only 5%. Only 5%. Are intercaste. 95% religion, I did not even ask. That will be probably less than a fraction of a percent. Like Raghav has mentioned correctly in the book, we are a highly incestuous lot. And you only want to stay within the caste. So this is unfortunate. So this book, it's quite a dark book. It is not supposed to make you feel comfortable because it tells you what you are, we are. Tells you what our society is like. And very often we do not like to hear the truth. I'm reminded of the German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche. He said that he was hated because his books were like a mirror to the reader, a mirror to society. And nobody wants to see a donkey in the mirror. And I have a feeling that after this, people read the book, your popularity ratings might come down a bit. But then we are not in the game of popularity. We don't stand for elections. We are supposed to tell the truth. We will tell the truth and how bitter it is, and even if it sort of exposes your hypocrisy, etc. Only one thing, the caste system has been here for thousands of years and is still very strong. It's not seeming to go anywhere. Everyone agrees that it's a very dysfunctional system. It makes our country much weaker. It is a system which is devoid of merit, yet it exists. The ancient Greeks, they had a saying, if something exists, there must be something in its favor for it to exist. Otherwise, it would not exist. So probably after this, we have a discussion on if there's anything positive about the caste system, which is why it exists or not. But the book is not entirely very grim, and it's got, like I said, is multi-layered. And Raghav has got this uncanny skill and capacity of drawing the reader into the book, and he draws the reader into, a lot of the book is set in the Himalayas. That's where our IS Academy is. So I can almost smell the pine trees there, I can hear the wind coming over the mountains, you can feel the cold of the night, chill air. And he's taken me back, drew me in totally and took me back to all those half-forgotten lovely places in Missouri, Library Point and Landor and Picture Palace and Camel's Back and all that. So thank you for that. Thanks a lot. And I'm sure the story of Deepika, a remarkable character, Deepika Thakur, Chamar, does not end here. It doesn't end. There's no finality to the book. So he's already got a sequel in mind, I'm sure of that. And probably we'll call it Kali's granddaughter. Thank you.